Yep, I'm on my rec rap arc. I'm doing the whole speedrun and do commentary things on the second channel. Ever since speedrunning Minecraft got really popular, I've been keeping up with it. I've been watching all kinds of speedrunning content from people like RecRap, Curryway, Feinberg, ever since it first blew up. But I never had too much of an interest in doing it myself. I tried it way back in 2020 when it was like first popular, and I got like, I think it was like 43 minute time, but you know, I never bothered to. But then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks ago, I was just like, I really want to get good at speedrunning Minecraft. I don't know why, I just like randomly felt like now is my time to get good at speedrunning Minecraft. Because if you don't know, this is my second channel. My main channel is Grazi. I have like 300,000 over there. I'm a creative mode builder. I make creative mode build videos. So this is definitely kind of different from things you would expect me to do. But like I said, I randomly wanted to start learning it, so I downloaded all my mods, I got all the practice maps, I started learning my bastion routes, I practiced one cycles, and after a couple days, I finally felt ready to actually do a run. So after a couple days, I started doing actual runs, and I think day 2 of actual runs, I completed my first one, that being 29:09, being a PB of like 14 minutes or something crazy. So that was pretty cool. It was a sub 30 as well. And then about an hour before the run you're seeing on screen now, I ended up getting a 25:07, another PB by 4 minutes, and I still had some time, so I decided, you know what, I'll keep going. And then I had my last run, and you can't hear it because I have the audio muted, but when I'm on the wall screen and I'm selecting my seed, I was gonna get off, but I see that this seed put me in a village, so I was like, I guess I'll play it to do one more, and that culminated in this crazy PB. So yeah, to talk a little bit about it, I only do village strats right now because I don't feel confident in going in with very little food at this point. But I'm not very good at routing these villages. The footage probably is going to be sped up, but you probably have been able to tell that my routing is just not that great. But I only get 3 iron from the golem, meaning I'm going to have to woodlight unless I can get iron from somewhere else. And woodlighting is just notoriously slow for me. It's never on my side. My runs always die when I try to woodlight it. And I saw this shipwreck off in the distance, so I decide, you know what? Let's go for that. Let's try and get this shipwreck, and we can grab an extra bit of iron from it. But then, when I'm actually on the way to the shipwreck, I spot a second village, and I decided my luck with magma ravines isn't really that good either, so I decided to go to the village instead to get an extra piece of iron. That way I could also look for a lava pool as my entry into the nether. I also decided to get my gravel here. I'm going to speed up the footage a little bit more so that we can get past the boring stuff. The second village has a blacksmith, but none of the loot was really that good. Provided me with some defense, I guess, but that was it. I see this ravine right next to the village, so I decided to jump in here instead of searching for a lava pool because I see that it goes even deeper down. So I kind of follow this cave for a while, but it's not really leading me anywhere, and there's some mobs, so I end up having to dig around for a lava pool, but I find one pretty much immediately. So I get into the nether here, pretty standard portal build. I think I might have messed it up a little bit, but it was pretty clean overall. And as I'm getting into the nether, I'm seeing that my entity count on the F3 menu is pretty high. I know that there's probably a bastion nearby, so I start E-raying to try and find it, but there's a couple spikes in opposite directions. There could be 2 bastions in either direction. So what I ended up doing was pretty smart because I've never actually done this before. It's just kind of like a thought that came to me in the moment. I lowered my render distance to figure out what bastion was closer and then started running in that direction. And thank God I had that idea because if I tried to go to the other one, this run would not have nearly been as good for reasons you're about to see. I'm just going to let the audio from the actual run play out here. I'm going to call with some friends, but as you hear me say, I have to deafen up and focus as soon as I find what is waiting for me around this corner. Oh my god, and there's the fortress. Wait, if this is real, this is a crazy run. Oh my god, please tell me this fucking bastion's real. Oh! I'm definitely to focus up. So yeah, I have this bastion right next to the fortress, which was especially exciting for me because I had been getting so many runs during this session where I get to the bastion, but then there's no fortress within a 32 chunk radius. So I recognized the bastion as bridge, which I was really thankful for because it has the most amount of gold. It's the most consistent. So on a run like this, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted some consistency here. Given the crazy pace that I was on compared to my PB, I decided to play it safe and mine some nether gold to get a gold helmet before going into the bastion, because just earlier in this day, I had a run that died in the bastion because I wasn't wearing gold armor. I just wanted to be a bit extra safe. I'm going to speed up the footage again here as I build my way over to the bastion and mine the gold, because it's nothing really special, no threats to my life or anything. I was definitely shaky at this point because I realized, like, okay, this run has a lot of potential here. I gotta lock in and focus. So I grab all the gold and I start doing the normal bridge bastion route. This hoglin kind of scared me, but I just barely made it past him and I was okay. And as I'm building up here, I'm noticing there's a ton more pigs than usual, especially down where I usually do my bastion strat. So I decided to do something I don't usually do and do top triple, where I get the pigs up here instead of down below. And I don't think this would have actually changed how many pigs I got, because they were all there anyways, but I'm very glad I decided to do this. It just felt nice being able to do something on the fly. The piglins were really stupid, though. They weren't jumping up this ledge, so I kind of had to bait them around and then throw the gold back in, as you can see. And then there's this one guy who just doesn't want to go in, but once he finally goes in, I get even more pigs to come up from down below. And I kind of wait for this guy to get over the ledge before I throw the gold so he doesn't get stuck. And then I'm free to loot the chests. I'm usually looking for obsidian and string in these chests. I get a little bit of obsidian, but not much string. So I decided to cross over to the other side of the bastion and check the other 3 chests that might be over there. Usually in these runs, I either get rolled because I don't get enough obsidian or I don't get enough string. So I'm really hoping to get enough here. Usually what ends up happening is I'll get the chest over here, I'll go back, and then I have to wait around for the rest of the pigs to trade and give me more obsidian or string or something. But I get some string, I get some obsidian, I get some gold armor for good luck, you know. And so these guys throw me their trades after I distract them with some gold, and I decide to run back over and check out the trades that the other pigs were doing while I was away. I throw the rest of my gold down, and as I begin to look in my inventory, I realized, like, wait a second, I have everything. I'm looking for 60 string, I have that. I'm looking for fire res, I have fire res. I have 2 stacks of pearls, I got my 20 obsidian, and I'm kind of fumbling with my crafting, and I'm realizing, like, oh, I can leave. I can leave right now, which usually never happens. I almost always have to sit here and wait for more trades, sometimes even getting backup gold because I just don't get enough string, or I'm trying to hope for 20 obby. So I just dip. I'm like, okay, I can play this really fast. I usually don't go this early, so it's kind of scary, but I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna go. I already know where the fortress is, so I don't have to use the pie chart to find the mob spawner. I'm gonna speed up the footage a little bit again as we go over to the fortress. I'm a bit slow and careful with my pearls because this is easily the best pace I've ever had while leaving a bastion. And I already know where the fortress was, so it was just literally like 2 or 3 pearls away, and I find a blaze spawner out in the open. The thing I was really worried about at this point were my blaze drops. The entire night, I had been getting absolutely rolled by blaze drops. I swear, 75% of the time tonight, these blazes were dropping nothing. And as I start killing the blazes, I start to panic because it's still happening. I'm getting no blaze rod drops from these blazes. But I dig out the area and I'm trying to stay calm. I start crafting. I craft an iron axe and iron pickaxe just for good measure because I'm nervous and I want to do anything, something, you know? And then I have this problem where the stupid blazes keep spawning off of the platform behind the fence. I swear, like 3 or 4 of them did this, and it was such a pain to try to get them to come back in so I could actually grab their drops. One of the first blazes I killed out there actually dropped, and it fell into the lava. So it was really frustrating to work with, but I managed to not lose any more rods to fire or lava, and it all goes well. I built my portal while I was waiting for some blazes to spawn, and then the blaze spawns just go absolutely crazy. I go from 1 blaze rod to like 6 in a matter of moments, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta go, and I gotta figure out where this stronghold is immediately. So I dip out, go through the portal, and hoping that I don't spawn in a cave. Luckily for me, though, I don't spawn in a cave, I spawn above an ocean, which I don't usually have to deal with, but I'm like, okay, I can do this, I can do this. And one thing I use a calculator, because it's allowed in speedruns, and I figured, I mean, I might as well give myself the best chances. My goal has been a sub 20, but now that I got this close after a few days, my new goal is sub 15, but yeah, calculators are allowed to kind of measure the angles. The problem is, I suck at it. You can see it appearing in the top left, and my numbers are just not great. I don't really know how to properly use it. I just know the general idea. So I've never been really good with the calculator. I've landed a couple of my educated travels with the calculator, but this time I wasn't feeling confident. The percentage chance that I am going to go in the right spot according to the calculator is like 10% or something. I can't see. It's too small on my screen. But I was not confident. I was just like, I don't think I'm going to hit it, but it's fine. I can still PB, even if I'm not going to like sub 20 or anything. So I pearl back up to my portal, and I start trying to make my way towards the coordinates that my calculator gave me. And it wasn't too far away, but I was kind of a bit scared because I was going into a basalt delta, and it looked like there was nothing but wall between me and where I needed to build the portal. But I kept throwing pearls, and after just a short while, I'm kind of in the general area, and I slowly build my way over to the coordinates that the calculator gave me. And again, I wasn't confident at all. I didn't think I was going to hit it. The last run that I had that made it to the end, I was off by like a few hundred blocks. So I was just not confident in my ability with the calculator at all. And for a brief moment as I entered the portal, my fears were realized. I hadn't hit it. Or had I? Come on, please. Oh! For that brief moment when I spawned above, I was like, maybe I did hit it and it's below me. No, it's probably further. And then I saw the outline of it in the water, and I did like a mental double take. I just stared at it for like a second or two, and I was like, but I spot the starter staircase, and I go over to it and begin preemptive, which is where you scan on the pie chart in the bottom right to look for mob spawners. And I get a massive spike in this direction, so I'm like, okay, it's gotta be this way. But I start looking over here, and I'm not really seeing a path to any portal room, and I'm getting worried. I'm like, where is it? Where could this thing possibly be? The biggest spike is in this direction. I kind of fumble around in disbelief. I do another scan, and I'm like, this is the biggest spike. It's got to be over here. So I dig out of the Stronghold and try to see if I can spot the portal room in the water in the distance, but there's a big hill, and I can't see if there's anything past it. So I'm like, okay, I must be looking in the wrong direction. So I come down here, I start going this way, I go between, because this direction had the second biggest spike. So I'm like, if the Stronghold's not over in the first direction, it's got to be over here. But I'm running really deep, and I'm still not seeing any path that really goes anywhere. So I do another scan, and I'm like, where is it? So I just keep following the biggest scan, and I'm like, just trust it, keep following the biggest spikes, and you're gonna find it eventually. And so I kind of fumble around a bit more, desperately searching. This is definitely the worst part of the run, probably the worst part. I spent way too long looking for this thing. I don't know if I'm reading the scans wrong, or if I'm just like bad at I don't know. Maybe there's some nuance to it that I don't understand. But I finally find the portal room. I'm like, okay, it's not gonna sub 20. I took too long trying to find the portal room. There's no way that this is gonna sub 20. But I still figured like this could be a really good PB by a few minutes potentially. And yeah, I start heading over to the fountain to set up for the 1 cycle. I originally wasn't going to post any of my runs here until I got a sub 20, but this one's right on the border, and I'm really happy with this run, so I figured I'd post this one as my first one. I'm obviously not super skilled yet. I've literally only been practicing and training for 4 days, but, you know, I'm proud of this. I feel like I did good here, you know? So I craft all the string that I got from the pigs into beds, or into wool and then into beds. I had a really scary moment where I didn't think I had any wood, but I was smart enough to keep some. So I'm waiting for the dragon to head to the opposite side of the end island so that it can perch, and it goes over there really fast, and I prepare to throw, and it actually snaps for a perch. This is the fastest perch that I've ever experienced through all of my time practicing for this moment. And I actually managed to 4-bed the dragon, which is not something that I usually do. I'm gonna let my reaction to this play out. What the fuck?
Yo, we team wiped at the last second. Let's go.
20 minutes.
W.
Dude, if only I found the fucking portal room faster. That was the fastest dragon perch I've ever had. What the fuck?
Holy shit, man. I didn't even watch all of that.
Did you beat your record?
I just got a 20:27, dude. I missed sub 20 by 30 seconds. That was my... That was so good. The only, like, really, really bad part, I kinda got rolled on blaze rates, and I also didn't find the fucking stronghold fast enough because my preemptive was fucked. But other than that, my bastion was so fucking fast, dude. Let's go. Oh my god.